Spice Rack, where you at?
What's up, y'all?
Spice Rack, thank you so much for being with us over the last year or so.
Yeah.
We've been doing our Love After Lockup series, and you guys have been right there with us, and we definitely appreciate it because we've been getting some mad love, huh, babe?
Definitely. We've been getting a lot of love.
A lot of love. So what we wanted to tell you guys is you are 2 episodes away from our series finale. We are actually ending the Love After Lockup series. We did that kind of as a play on the one that is on real TV and the fact that it's kind of our life right now. But we have graduated, thankfully.
We have come up.
Yeah. So we are moving the lockup part out of our videos, our shows, but that does not mean you won't see more of us. We are actually going to be starting a podcast.
Yes, it is.
When do we start this podcast, Pookie?
We're starting it next year.
In January. January will be our first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell the people what the name of the podcast is?
Till the wheels fall off.
Till the wheels fall off.
Because me and this one right here, that's how we do. We go until the wheels fall off. So that's going to be the name of the show, and the premise is going to be...
We are going to talk all things relationships and re-entry, because that is our life. That is our world. We are in a relationship, and we are re-entering the society that we had stolen from us.
Yeah. And that re-entry is not always easy. It's not always smooth, not always successful. So hopefully we can give you guys some insight onto how to do it better. Not necessarily always the best, but we know different ways to do it that haven't been implemented yet.
True. And we also know ways that we did that were wrong, that we can tell y'all so you don't do the same things.
We learn from, absolutely.
So make sure you stay tuned. Come back in January for our Till the Wheels Fall Off podcast. We just wanted to jump on real quick, let you guys know that what you're about to see is footage that you've already seen if you've watched all of our videos. If you haven't, go back and watch them. However, we wanted to, since we're rolling you into our wedding, now that you know that's what we had this summer. Roll wheels, get it?
I get it.
Since we're doing that, we wanted to give you all the same experience that our guests had, and so our guests were played the specific video that you guys are about to see right now. And next week is the finale that will be the video that you've been waiting for, which is the wedding video. So thank you so much for being with us, supporting us, having our back. Please stay tuned, watch this next 27-minute video just as a recap and a refresher, and then we'll see you next week for the series finale.
Appreciate you, Spice Rack.
Bye, guys.
Y'all take it easy.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
So much. So we're going to tell the people a little bit about us. We need to fill in the gaps a little bit.
Why do they need to know anything about it?
Because I want everybody to know the same things. Some people know some things, other people don't know the whole thing. So we're gonna fill in. We're gonna fill in the gaps.
All right.
You ready? Okay. All right. So why don't you? Do you want to tell them how we met, or you want me to tell?
You tell them, and I'll fill in because you usually forget stuff. So you tell them. I'll fill in the gaps.
The lies.
Or I'll just interject like I usually do while you're talking.
Yeah, you're good at that. Okay, so we met because his family came to visit our church. Now, mind you, just a little backup story, I'm a church girl, born and raised, all day, every day. You know, we went to church, that's what we did. So I was very sheltered, very square, very like, what did you call it? Green?
Square as a pool table, twice as green.
Twice as green, that's me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until him. So he comes to church, I'm like, what, 11 at the time? Like 11 or 12, like really young.
Mm-hmm.
He walks into church. Mind you, I was the younger girl trying to kick it with the older girls, so I would sit in the back with the older girls thinking I was cool like them. Well, he comes walking into church, and they lost their minds. The older girls were like, like, ooh, who is that? Who is that? Because he came into church in a full Dickie suit with a blue bandana hanging out his back pocket, and I literally remember being like, oh my God, that is a real life gang member. I was so shook.
It was just attire to me, but it was like what I wore, and
not attire I was used to. Not the church. All the boys that did it at school and like before and after church, but nobody wore that to church. This guy did. Chucks and all.
all day, every day.
So the older girls were like, ooh, he's cute, ooh, he's this and that. And I wasn't really checking it for him like that. I was too young, they were too old. So they would send me over and be like, go ask him if he wants to sit with us at church. So I was the little gopher. And I'd be like, you want to sit with us? And he'd be like, no, I'm good.
Now, mind you, she used to come over with this very, like, she kind of knew what she wanted to say. And maybe because she was relaying messages for everybody. Practiced. But that was my little buddy. She turned into my little partner because she was nice. And in that church setting back then, like, everybody wasn't always talkative to me or whatever. And then I had this little partner of mine coming over always talking to me.
Because you was King Thug Life.
Okay. We know that's a quote. That's a direct quote, just so you know.
It was.
But she came over and talking to me all the time, and I was like, this is my little partner, so we became tight.
Yes, and our families became tight. Like, my mom and his mom were best friends at one point. So we were together before and after church sometimes, and on the weekends. And so we were just friends. So then we had youth group. And you started coming to youth group.
Yes.
And so it was even more like the girls were like, ooh, 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 who is that? They're trying to be all close to him. And my mom, let me just interject, because he used to call my mom Mama Slice, and she loved it. Like, my mom thought he was the best thing on the planet. Like, more than she liked her own kids. Like, she loved him.
Yeah. And
so my mom was in charge, one of the people in charge of the youth group, so she, like, took him under her wing, and they just became, like, in real life, like, best friends. So whenever we'd have some type of youth group, she would try to be cool and try to not make him so, like, have to do anything that was really weird. She was really trying, because she really loved him. But the reason I brought up youth group, because youth group is the time we went to play basketball at Spanaway Junior High. And I was minding my own business on my own team, playing ball, because, you know, back in the day, I could kind of do a little something.
Listen, y'all. I'm not even let her tell this story and make her seem like she's the victim.
I am the victim.
During this basketball game, imagine this. Get the rebound, fast break.
Me.
Going down the court, go up for a layup.
Get me on the court and I'm trouble.
Last week you got
messed around and got a triple-double.
Listen, go up for the layup and get smashed into the wall. That was me.
You was a me lie.
That was me that got smashed.
That was not true.
I ended up on the floor, a little in and out of consciousness. Mama Slice came over with her Bill Cosby sweats on and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like,
"Okay,
yes."
Y'all tell me when you want the truth, because I got it. I was running down the court with the fast break. I said, took that ball, and I was going down the court. And guess who couldn't handle me getting all the limelight? And a little old me, because I was a lot smaller then, and I was little, short. Little old me comes trying to go and do my layup, and he comes and swah!
It was a flagrant foul.
I mean flagrant, so much so that he knocked me out the air, y'all.
Flagrant 2.
We slid on the floor, like I'm sliding across the floor into the brick wall, and then guess who comes sliding in behind me and smashes me? Like face, glasses, everything just smudged up against the wall.
I got ejected.
And then he gonna be like, "Why you push me?" He said that, and I'm like scraped up, faces all, but then, you know, I'm trying to be cool because I'm with the older kids and I don't want to cry like I really want to cry. I was trying not to cry.
Yeah.
After they peeled me up off the floor, he gonna ask me, "Why you push me?" Okay, so when was it that we actually like started to kind of get together? Because I know when. I know when I got your attention. Because I was always little sister. I had proclaimed my little crush to him a couple times. This is over a span of years. I had proclaimed my crush, and he was basically like, "Oh, that's cute. Go ahead, little tyke. Run along."
She was young and she was my friend, but it was still special nonetheless, just because it was her. Like, that was my partner, and it was very special to know that she cared about me like that. It really was. And
he didn't care.
Yes, I did.
Broke my little heart.
No, I didn't. Didn't break it.
Crushed it.
Do I need to name the no good young dudes that you was hanging around with? Your heart was crushed?
If they was paying me some attention, you weren't. Let's not do that, because I got a list too. Shall we?
You ain't got
Thank
no
you.
list.
Okay, so I'll tell y'all when I kind of snatched his eyeballs out, snatched his breath away. He gonna go off to college. He thought he was grown enough to just like, oh, I'm going to Louisiana, I'm going to Southern University, and I'm gonna be this cool football player. So at the time he leaves, and I'm going into 10th grade. Now, mind you, before he left, your girl had on the little braces. She was like, kind of had a goofy body. Her body didn't know what it wanted to do. It didn't know where it was going. He was gone for a little 6 months. Okay, baby girl got her braces off. Ting! And she got her little shape in. These came in, the booty came out. It was like, I was cute.
And then what happened?
You came home?
And then what happened?
So mind you, we kind of were keeping in touch while he was gone. I would just kind of write him like, oh, this is what's going on. I sent him my school picture. I was really trying to mag. I kind of got a whiff that he was coming home, and they all found out that I figured it out. Mind you, I had gotten dressed all day waiting for this. We gonna go surprise and pop up, and he gonna see me, and I'm gonna just be like, I'm here. So anyway, all of a sudden, last minute turn, we get to their house, and so I'm still like waiting for him, and he never comes out. And he never comes out. And I was dressing really cute, because before that, I was very tomboy. I wasn't understanding my body, so it was like, let me just cover it up. I was in Pendletons and like baggy pants and just tomboy. Well, all of a sudden, someone told me I was cute, honey, and I had fitted clothes all of a sudden. And so I had wore my outfit, and his mom was like, you better stop wearing them clothes, because you know Munchie gonna be mad if he sees you in them clothes.
And you said,
he ain't the boss of me. I do what I want to do.
I was around the corner when she said this. Now,
I was talking mad junk.
I don't know if she was convinced or not that I wasn't there at the time, but she didn't know I was around the corner.
Well, because everything I did while he was gone, it was always like, you know he gonna be mad at you, but I'm like, he ain't my man, so I can do what I want to do. And he's not my dad either. That was my other statement. You ain't my daddy. So I felt like I had to really be like, I had to stand in that, like, I'll do what I want. He ain't in charge of me. And then he came around the corner and took my whole tooth out my whole jaw. She
sounded like a turkey, y'all. Listen.
I didn't sound like that.
You did.
So extra.
And came around the corner, and I ain't gonna lie, she looked good.
I did. She looked good. I really did.
And I was surprised. I was like, okay. I seen you. You know what I'm saying? And then, it was like at that moment I was like, okay. We're gonna have to watch. We're gonna have to watch the progress of this youngster.
Oh, and she progressed, honey. Progressed.
We're gonna have to watch the progress of this youngster here, man. You know what I'm saying? So I did. I kept my eye on that, and it looked good, and it was acting good, and it had a good head on his shoulders, and I was like, yeah.
He knew.
Yeah.
He knew. Okay, so we started hanging out, and he actually ended up moving back home for a little while. We would hang out after school a lot. I would get off of school and then come over to his house. Well, this one particular day, he kept asking me to skip school. And, like, mind you, I told you, his mom and my mom were best friends. So, I was kind of game, but I was like, see, no. The closer it got, I was like, the time I come to skip and pick you up, my mom is going to be there. And how am I going to explain that? Like, she's going to be at y'all's house. He's like, no, I'll just walk around the corner. They're like trying to get me to skip school. For one, I don't do that. And two, skip and come to y'all's house to pick you up so I could get caught. Not a good plan.
Did I ever get caught? Did I ever get caught for anything I did?
We're getting to that.
Yeah.
So the one day I decided, so he thought I was going to skip. I was supposed to leave my school at like right after lunch, 12:30 or something. Come scoop him, and we was going to kick it the rest of the day. Well, I got cold feet because I was like, my mom's going to be there, and I'm not trying to get my car taken. I'm not trying to get in trouble. So I didn't go. And I was waiting all day. I knew he was going to be mad, and when I got there at 2 something, I knew I was going to have to be like, like, I'm sorry. So I get out of school, and I'm nervous because I know I'm going to have to explain to him why I didn't show up. And sure enough, as soon as I pull up, guess whose car was in the driveway? My mom's. So I'm thinking like, see, this is why I knew she was going to be there. He ain't going to get me in trouble. So I walk in the house, and I'm like, acting like this is just my first time planning to be there. And I was like, what you doing here? To my mom, she's like, yeah, come in here and sit down. So right when she said that, and I see his mom is upset. And I said, oh crap, they done found out we were supposed to skip. And my mom's like, come sit down, because she about to tell me like, I busted you. And I'm trying to think, like, how would she know that I was going to skip? Well, then I was like, why is his mom crying like that though? Like, that's weird. So I go in there and we sit down, and my mom's like, yeah, so you were supposed to, or she was like, I came over here today because Ernestine called me and she was really upset. And I was like thinking like, what happened? And your dad was overseas at the time, so I'm thinking, oh crap, something happened to his dad. And I'm just waiting, looking around, waiting for him to come out the room. And then he never comes. And so my mom was like, I just have something to tell you. And I was like, okay. She was like, they came and picked him up today. And I was like, who came and picked up who? And his mom is bawling, like, at this moment. So I'm like, came and picked up who for what? And she was like, they came and arrested Charles today. I mean, when I tell you my stomach, like, just thinking about it, my stomach gets hot. Like, I couldn't understand what they were saying. I didn't understand why they were saying it. I didn't know what that even meant. Like, it was just a lot going on in my head.
So I was at the house earlier that day, and they just came and, you know, basically they came a little deep and they took me away for a crime I didn't commit that day. And I feel like a story started that day. A whole nother story, a whole nother life started that day. But yeah, by the time you got home from school, I was booked in Pierce County Jail.
So that really is where me and him really kind of, I wouldn't say started, but that is a big start place for us. So
while I was waiting for the trial, they came with a plea, and they were like, you sign on dotted line right now for 13 years and you'll be out in 11 for a good time, and you can take that right now. And it was never my intention to take a plea. However, I didn't want to say no without speaking to somebody that cared about me or whatever.
And I was literally getting out of the shower and the phone rang, and it was him, and he was telling me like, they want me to take this plea.
And I was like struggling with it because, like I said, it's like for me to admit to something that I didn't do is something to this day I can't do. Like, and so that would have called for me to say, yes, I committed this crime and I did all these A, B, and C's, and I just couldn't do it. It was a struggle. But I also saw everybody around me getting all this time, so I was like, I don't want to be one of these cats. This 11 years ain't too bad.
And I'm like, if you didn't do it, why would you say you did something you didn't do? How could you even consider that?
Candace was she wasn't hip to the system at the time.
No, not at all.
And the system still looked a certain way to her. And for years it had looked a different way to me. And so I kind of knew what it was going in. But that was me knowing what the system was like was what made me consider that deal. Mm-hmm. That was the only thing that made me consider it. Is I know it doesn't work for us. And so here we go. She gave me the advice that I needed, which was don't do it, because that's where I was leaning anyway, and I didn't do it, and so I go to trial.
And that's a whole cluster.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story.
That's a lot. Wait for the documentary.
But long story short, go to the trial. It didn't end in my favor, and I ended up getting sentenced to 26 years.
So, of course, they give us the guilty verdict, and we're still thinking like, okay, well, now we know we got to appeal. Mm-hmm. We're going to get this appeal, flip it, he going to be out 2 years maybe. 2 years turned to 5 years. We had appeal, and the appeals just did not work in our favor for a long time. It was just more like, I know he's innocent, and we're just going to fight through this because it's 5 years tops. Then it was like 7 years tops. And then here we go.
Yeah, I was truly taking it on the chin right there when they first said that time. And then the appeal process was so crazy because it was almost like no matter how good your case was, you were not going to win the first appeal anyway. Nobody wins the first. Like, everybody gets the rejection. So we're waiting around for your rejection notice, and then you got to do it again and again. Come back and say, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right on your appeal. However, and there was always a list of reasons why they couldn't open the doors and let me go.
And most of the time, the reasons were like, We just don't want to do it. We know we should, but we're going to let another court decide that.
You're correct. However, you're time barred. So to be sitting in prison knowing that the merits of the case are in my favor, but time wasn't.
Because you have so much time to do an appeal on a certain thing. So if you went over that time, they could still be like, yeah, this was unconstitutional, but you're supposed to file that in 3 years and you're in 4. So
you end up digging in and doing time and a lot of it was waiting for appeals.
I remember being like, dang, if you did the whole time, when we calculated what good time was, I was like, I'm going to be almost 40. And that at the time, being 16, 17, there's no way that he's about to be in here till I'm 40. And that we're about to be doing this. Like, I still don't believe that. I still don't believe it, and we did it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. A lot happened during that time of you being away.
Well, a lot happened.
And
wait for the documentary.
Yeah, we'll get into that in the documentary or the book. Or both. So our families at that time were still very supportive. And my mom was always like our biggest fan. I think, like, I remember people being like, why isn't your mom telling you not to be with him? I think she knew she couldn't do that. Like, you could tell me that, but I also was her daughter and she knew what that meant. I'm going to do it. So I don't know that she was encouraging us, but she knew him. She loved him. And knew that I loved him and that he loved me, and was very supportive of just us being like having a good relationship, whether it was just friendship or if it was more than that. And so because she loved him so much, she kind of just operated on, this is my boy, I'm gonna do for my boy, come on, you can come with me kind of thing. And unexpectedly, that was my first year at Wazoo. So I went to Wazoo in August. And by March, my mom passed away. Very unexpectedly. And that was a big, that was significant in so many ways. I mean, of course, I lost my mother, but she really was like our only support for a lot of the time. Like, he'd been away, maybe 2 years at that point. And it's so, like, people just fall off real fast, and my mom was the only consistent person that was ever really supportive of us. My life was just literally falling apart in front of me, and I couldn't like understand it fast enough to understand what was happening or like get control of it. And he was my only consistent thing that stayed the same, and I just held on to him so tight. Like, I just needed something to stay the same, and he was my stay the same. And honestly, I think you being able to be that for me in that part of my life helped me so much, because I had something to put my energy towards that wasn't changing all the time. He was the only thing I could go to, and it just felt like, okay, this is my comfort. Like, this is my saying.
And you know, the cool part about it, the whole time I was thinking I wasn't doing nothing for you. Because that's what you feel in there. And it rocked me, because it was like she said, it was so unexpected, and it just came out of the blue, and it was like, out of everything that's going on, we're really not ready for this. And like, it's crazy how much you realized how much she held together everything and everybody.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's what made her passing even harder, is because she was literally the glue.
But like I said, my mom was very much my support, and we would, like, she knew how much I loved Love, so we would always talk about, just like, she, I think, knew how much I loved him. And all of the times when we would talk about like me getting older, she always would say, when you finally get your wedding, you need to do this, you need to have this song, you need to, and this specific song that she'd always talk about is called A Love Like This. There's so many things that I know she would want me to have now that you're home and we're together and we're like planning this life. I know that there are a few things that we have to include. It's just like a tribute to her, because she was such a strong support for us. And like, went so hard for us on so many occasions.
100%. It's like, let's put some spec on it.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Put some spec on it, because she was there. Yeah.
My mom. The reason we picked this day to celebrate you is because it's her birthday.
It is.
And I wanted to have a way to have her involved with the celebration. But I thought that this would be a special day for us to be able to party with her on her birthday and it be like a celebration for you.
That's dope.
When I do finally have my wedding, we have to play this song, the A Love Like This, because that's like her jam.
Yeah.
And we'd have to make sure she's included in that.
A love like this, huh? Mm-hmm. Well, babe, we should do that.
We should do what?
You should walk down the aisle to that song, and we should do that.
I'm planning on it. I absolutely plan on doing that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When?
What do you mean? When do you want to do it?
I want to do it right now.
Well, we can't do it now because they think that they're here for a surprise party for you. We can't do it now.
If these are the same people that's going to be at the wedding and they're already here, we might as well do this shit right now. I want to get married right now.
Today?
This day. On Sue McGrue's birthday.
Okay, I'm down.
Y'all down?
Y'all down?
I mean, I'm saying, y'all down. Y'all here. Y'all ready for a wedding?
Surprise!
Bet you didn't know, huh?
Let's get married, y'all.
Now, see, I bet you thought that you had one over on me.
They did.
They thought they had one over on me.
These were good, though. Nobody spoiled, well, one person, but nobody else spoiled it besides my Uncle Greg.
Yeah. Well, just so y'all know, I knew the whole time, standing in y'all face on the phone with me, telling me all this and that, but never mentioning the fact that you're having a surprise party for me, but surprise for y'all, because y'all get to marry the woman I love in front of all y'all, and I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Y'all enjoy, man.
Enjoy. It's about to be
coming.
an experience.
We love every single one of y'all.
We
man.
do. Thank you for being here. Surprise!
Booyah!